I am actually so hot right now. I'm not hot. I mean, like, the temperature here is rising. Before you say anything, I know I have weird pigmentation on my face. I also have a pimple patch, but don't mind that, because today we're not gonna talk about how to get clear skin. We are gonna talk about how to save our mother nature, how to save the environment, okay? I love skincare. I am guilty of splurging every penny I have on skincare, even if it leaves me with only $2 in my bank account. But I'm so oblivious because I never knew that buying skincare can actually damage the environment even more. It breaks my heart to say that! Everyone wants to save the environment. Like, we buy our metal straws, we bring our reusable bag for shopping. But little did we know, the little things that we use on a regular basis is actually hurting the environment as well. So that is what we're gonna discuss today. There are a few ingredients in skincare that is actually bad for the environment. So without further ado, keep on watching. So the first ingredient that I am also guilty of incorporating as well, it is oxybenzone. This is the ingredient that is inside a chemical sunscreen. I know, chemical sunscreen. I love chemical sunscreen. So if you don't know, there are two types of sunscreen. We have physical sunscreens and chemical sunscreen. So the difference between these two sunscreens is that usually physical sunscreen will leave this white cast on your face, like your face will be ashy after you use this sunscreen. In chemical sunscreens, it doesn't really do that. That's why people tend to go for chemical sunscreen, aka me. But the ingredient in the chemical sunscreen, which is oxybenzone, it is actually killing our coral reefs, and it is contributing to the declining of coral reefs around the world. So what oxybenzone does is that it bleaches our coral reefs, it interrupts the DNA of the coral reefs, and also it interferes with the reproduction of the coral reefs. Not only coral reefs, it is also toxic to our algae, fish, dolphins. Coral reefs is actually so important in our ecosystem because number one, it gives shelter to fish and other organisms, and number two, it actually helps the economy, like for tourism. So that is why it is important for us to save our coral reefs. So instead of using chemical sunscreen, you can opt for physical sunscreens. Physical sunscreen usually contains ingredients like titanium dioxide and also zinc oxide, and it's actually a lot safer for your health because physical sunscreen, they tend to just stick on top of the skin. It acts like a mirror, so it reflects the UVA and UVB. The next ingredient that is bad for our environment is something that is derived from palm oils. If you read about skincare or if you watch skincare videos, I'm sure you know the ingredient SLS, or sodium lauryl sulfate. So SLS is actually derived from palm oil, and in order to extract the palm oil, mass deforestation is needed. So when it comes to deforestation, it also means that we are destroying the natural habitat of endangered animals. In this case, it does not mean that we need to stop using palm oils. Like, palm oils is a necessity in most of our products that we use on a daily basis. But the way we can protect these animals, protect our environment, is to support brands that use sustainable palm oils. Now, the RSPO, they make sure that there are no primary forests that are being cleared, no areas with endangered animals, or areas that is a basic necessity for the local communities are being cleared in order for them to have the palm oil production. They also make sure that they reduce the amount of pests they use, and they give fair treatments for the labor workers, which is exactly why we need to support using sustainable palm oils. You can also ask the company like what products they use, where they get the ingredients from. It is actually good to be an educated consumer. SLS is not the only ingredient that is derived from palm oil. I'll put a list in the description box down below so that you can know other ingredients that are derived from palm oil. The next ingredient that is actually bad for our environment is exfoliating microbeads. I'm sure you know what these are. Microbeads are often used to exfoliate our skin, but these microbeads, they are usually made of polyethylene, which is a plastic substance to create the scrubbing beads. And this stuff, it actually gives you the illusion of natural exfoliation. I know, I have been fooled as well. Microbeads are not only in exfoliating products, we can also find them in toothpaste, lip gloss, sunscreen sometimes, and it is also used to make a certain product feel creamy, and when we put it on our face, the microbeads can fill in our wrinkles so that it makes our skin look flawless, wrinkleless. The thing about microbeads is that because it's plastic, it is hard to decompose. And this tiny plastic beads is actually found accumulating in lakes and stuff. So it's actually a concern to our environment. And not only that, fishes can eat them and also other animals can eat them, and this will affect their digestive tract. And when fish eat them and we eat fish, which means the microbeads will also end up in our body. It's not good for the environment, it's not good for our health as well, okay? So the next ingredients, there are 2 ingredients. They usually come together, is BHA and BHT. I know BHA, right? I love BHA, but this is not the BHA that we're talking about, thank God. The BHA here, it stands for butylated hydroxyanisole, and the BHT stands for butylated hydroxytoluene. Toluene, I don't know. So these 2 usually they are used in moisturizers and makeup products as preservative. It's not only used in skin products, it is also used in our food as preservative as well. So in terms of food, both of these ingredients are listed under GRAS, which is generally recognized as safe in low doses. So if you think about it, if we eat something that has these ingredients, yes, it is in low doses, it's safe, but what if we eat it constantly? That will also lead to high doses of both of these ingredients, which also means that it's not safe. So in terms of the environment, these 2 ingredients are actually toxic to our aquatic lives because both of these products, they have the potential to bioaccumulate. Bioaccumulation is a gradual accumulation of substances or chemicals in an organism. So remember, if the organisms are having bioaccumulation and we eat the organisms, which also means that we have something bad in our system as well. So the last ingredient, well, it's not actually an ingredient, it's more of a product, which are wet wipes. Wet wipes are easy to use. We all are guilty of using wet wipes sometime in our lives. Like even as baby, our moms would use wet wipes to clean our butts. Wet wipes are usually made from synthetic fibers that do not break and biodegrade, which means it will end up clogging our landfill sites. And if wet wipes somehow ended up in the ocean, sea creatures tend to digest it, which will end up killing them, and also it can end up washed up on our beaches. So instead, if you still want to use wipes, you can opt for reusable wipes or disposable wipes that is actually biodegradable and it's good for our environment. So those are all the ingredients and the products that is actually bad for our environment. The main reason why I wanted to do this video is I want to spread awareness on the ingredients that we use on a daily basis that can actually do bad for our environment. I believe each and every one of us, we want to save our mother nature, but I know it's hard to change the mindset that we used to have. If we can start like implementing slowly, reducing stuff that is actually killing our environment, sooner or later we can actually do some changes in the world, even if it's just a teeny tiny bit. Thank you so much for watching. Share this video, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Why am I suddenly not getting sunlight? Hello, sun! Come back to me, come back to me.